So it has been reported and confirmed by Warner Brothers that Zack Snyder, director of box office gems such as Legends of the Guardians, The Owls of Ga'Hoole, and Sucker Punch, will be directing the highly rumored and immensely anticipated Justice League movie. The second I heard this news, I legitimately thought that Warner Brothers had just finally decided to change the name of the Man of Steel sequel to Justice League, which, honestly, that would have been appropriate considering how fucking muddled the cast of Man of Steel 2 is with Justice League members. At this point, you might as well consider the Man of Steel sequel as Justice League Light. You have Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg. I hear Jason Momoa is supposed to be in this film as an unnamed Justice League member. At this point, is Zack Snyder even trying to do justice to the character of Superman and give him a proper sequel? Or is he just putting out a 2-hour Justice League commercial? Now, I think it's an obvious mistake that Warner Brothers ended up naming Zack Snyder the director of this project this early on. I think Warner Brothers should have at least made the smart play here and waited to see how successful the Man of Steel sequel could do. Especially considering that the last Man of Steel movie really wasn't that well received by the critics. And now, not only is Zack Snyder dealing with, obviously, Superman, but he's also dealing with a bunch of other really big DC characters like Wonder Woman and Batman. And in the end, I think this is an unnecessary gamble to take on a guy who hasn't proved he can work with these characters yet. However, in this situation, I will give DC a little bit of credit.
Listen up, this'll only take a second!
Up until this point, DC has always been non-committal on their approach of a long-term vision for their cinematic universe. At some point, I always thought they'd take the Marvel approach, where they do solo outings of each hero that slowly build up to a team-up film. But it is understandable that one size does not fit all in terms of how to create a cinematic universe, so I do respect DC for finally taking a stand and committing to a long-term vision. I'm just not sure that Zack Snyder was the right choice to lead that vision, but he is the choice they've made. And Zack Snyder really isn't the worst director in the world.
He stinks, and I don't like it.
He has made some pretty badass and interesting flicks, such as Dawn of the Dead, 300, Watchmen, all in my opinion great movies. But the man is certainly not perfect. The one kind of diminishing aspect for me of Snyder has always been that I really don't think that he's especially good at telling a story. When it comes to shooting an action scene, there's really nobody better than him. The Smallville fight sequence in The Man of Steel was one of the most brilliantly shot action scenes that I had seen all year. But the problem with Snyder is that he focuses entirely too much on the action. And unfortunately, that leads to the mishandling of proper character motivations. Bland dialogue.
What are you smiling about, Captain?
Nothing, sir. I just think he's kinda hot.
And an underwhelming story.
Are you the ranking officer here?
I am.
General Zod would like this woman to accompany me.
And as much as I'm excited to see a well-shot, action-packed Justice League movie, if the story ends up being lame, then I might as well just be watching video game cutscenes for 2 hours. But I am really excited to finally be getting a Justice League movie, and it has been rumored that the Man of Steel sequel and Justice League movies will be filmed back-to-back, so I'm really hoping that Snyder is able to prove me wrong and come up with a great story that spans these two films, all of which can create a solid foundation to build the DC cinematic universe from. But until I see it with my own eyes, I probably won't be holding my breath.